Uh, since everyone joined a little bit earlier, and I always say I appreciate that. I was a little bit curious to see who's among the audience, if there's anyone who specifically work on marketing and sales or different positions, sometimes as business owners. So if you have like a specific, because this is focused on marketing and sales, but it's not necessarily only for marketing and sales people to use. So if you can let me know in the chat, yeah, what is your specific role within your business? I know it's mostly a little bit founder slash business manager slash marketing slash sales slash CEO. So yeah, it just to have a little bit of an idea of your background. Okay, thanks, Grace. We are joined by Elvira today. I don't know if she can hear me yet, but she should be any minute. Okay, SEO specialist, e-commerce, logistics company. All right, so anyone specifically focuses on sales? That would be interesting to know. All right, I think we can get started. As always, we are recording this session, so if I know that some people are also recording this session, but just for you to know that you can always view these sessions again on Ecom Connect platform on the event page itself. And please, if you have any issues accessing any of these sessions, please let me know. You can email me directly, and I'll figure out if there is an issue. Okay, Grace has a sales team. All right, it's good to know. A few salespeople, I think mostly also marketing based on what I can read. So let's get started. Another question, considering that these sessions again are meant to be a little bit more workshop focused and not webinars, but I understand that some of you join sometimes from the phone and are not usually using their work or their laptop during these sessions. But we really, I mean, the aim from this is to get you a little bit more trying the tools instead of just seeing what they can do, because I personally believe that unless we try them, and I think everyone had the same experience with ChatGPT the first time, is that you try it, and then once you start to see a little bit the benefits of it, you are more it creates a habit. So we are more used to integrating these tools within our workflow and systems. But if you don't try them, there is it's all going to be you knowing that these tools are available but not necessarily using them, which is again the aim of this, because yeah, all businesses are using AI tools, whether for sales, for marketing, and even for lead generation, anything you can imagine. So the more I look into AI tools, the more I realize that there is a tool for absolutely anything you can imagine. Even if you're creating videos, you need someone to like a tool that does the transcription for you. Everything is available. Now, of course, not none, but most of these are paid. But at least they allow you at least 7 days trial period, which gets you to try these tools. So before we get started, I know I asked this last time, but it might be a little different audience here. So I want to check like if you can automate any task, because at the end of the day, this is the main objective from using AI tools, is to automate certain tasks that will free up your time for you to focus on more important work, which primarily as a business owner would be to develop partnership, network, identify markets, again, depending on what you're working on. It would be interesting to know what task would you love to automate for your business. I see some people are still answering in the chat, but email marketing, that's an easy one, Shadi. Unfortunately, yeah, no, live translation to Spanish is not available on this webinar. But for you who don't, for those of you who don't know, I moved to Barcelona recently, and I'm learning Spanish, not good enough to conduct webinars in, but maybe if you are patient, I'll figure it out eventually. FAQs. I would assume automating FAQs would be a chatbot. So unless I misunderstood that, this is a great time saver, especially if you get a lot of questions that are typically available in the online FAQs, but that people do not end up reading. So we have e-commerce, sales. Okay, so basically, I mean, that would be customer support a little bit and email marketing. So also email marketing, and I'll discuss this in a little bit. Email marketing would be different whether you're doing lead generation or you're trying to get new clients, or you're doing the onboarding. Not the onboarding, but when someone new subscribes to your newsletter, you can just schedule a series of automated email that would go to them. So that might be a little different as well. I'll explain this in a little bit. Advertising, automating social media posts. I guess that would be content creation, and we have one tool that would be very interesting today. I think it is the close competitor to ChatGPT, but most people actually are more familiar with ChatGPT than Jasper AI. I will talk about it in a bit. All right, thank you. Inquiries, okay. Okay, interesting. Let me continue. If you have like any specific questions or feedback still on some of the stuff that you'd like to automate, I'll talk about this a little bit after as well. So I just want to highlight here before we start on certain benefits in marketing and sales. Some of these things might still be a little bit evident, but yeah, it's important to highlight the range of benefits that this can have. So one, increased efficiency and productivity. So as I said, you might be running the whole business, you might have a few employees, but that definitely helps you a little bit automate certain stuff, such as, for example, data entry, initial customer communication. So if you're doing lead generation as well, that will help you save time, and you will only focus, for example, on the leads that have the highest value or that are closer to closing a deal or higher in interest in them actually purchasing a product. So this is here an example of how chatbots can handle customer inquiries at the same time. And if you're getting that many customer inquiries, that means you have a lot of potential clients. So that's quite useful. So that will help your customer staff focus on other things that are a little bit more important or require more human intervention. Enhanced personalization. So that could be content optimization. We'll see one tool here that's very useful because instead of you we do this content repurposing. So let's say you have an article or a blog post and you want to use it in two different formats. So it's not only SEO focused, but it's social media. So these tools can recreate them based on the different platforms, keeping the same tone of voice that you have for the brand and really maximizing your time. It does not mean that we rely on these tools to create this content. It means that we rely on these tools to help you optimize and at least leverage each of the platforms that you have efficiently. Also, return on investment, definitely if something that costs, I don't know, a subscription of 20 euros a month would be better at delivering quality while your customer support or your lead sales actually focus on getting other work done as well. Optimize personalization and segmentation. This ties into product optimization depending on the platform. It is a cost reduction as well. Sorry. Whoever is not muted, can I ask you to mute? All right, sorry. Can you, I stopped sharing my screen. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Usually I don't get an answer on this.
Now we see
Not
the
this
email.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, no. My apologies. All right. Now you can see the presentation, right?
Not full screen yet.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Full screen
Okay,
now.
now yeah.
Thank you. Happy to have someone actually participate with me. So that should be encouraging for other people. Sorry, I was saying better pricing strategy, definitely. But also you can, we'll see one tool that helps you actually improve demand predictability. And this is where the sales come into play. I know we don't tend to rely on tools for sales, but I think this is a little bit undervalued. So we can really better understand or predict, or even if you are into B2B sector, help you target people or prioritize targeting potential customers instead of others based on where they are in the funnel and how much they are, what they provide return on investment. So another thing here that also talks about the benefits in marketing and sales is that not only some of these tools can actually get you leads, which is something that most businesses value because this is directly linked into return on investment, but it improves the quality of these leads, as I mentioned. It helps you better engage with prospects and customers. So for example, if you customize one of your lead magnet series of email really very well, depending on your potential target audience, instead of using a general lead magnet or email campaign, that will possibly help you also close these deals faster because the individual person reading the email actually feels that this is directly linked to them. Also, there is much improved intent, understanding of buyer intent, which is also something that's very relevant to sales. Conversion rates, ad spend, if you're doing ad targeted campaigns, pipeline acceleration, which I just mentioned, you can close deals faster, which is also related to return on investment. And again, the omni-channel attribution, so you can better understand which channel or which sales method is actually linked with getting you more clients or high value clients. So instead of doing, for example, I don't know, 4 or 5 sales channels like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or if you do any sorts of more B2B channels as well, you will be able to better link the attribution and know which channel is getting you the higher or more client leads. And this is also important because you get to focus more on these and less on the others as well. I mean, just to play around here, who here has a Netflix account? Just if you, I mean, maybe a lot of you, okay. I hear that some people cannot hear. And this is a little bit odd. You can't hear me?
Can get you clearly.
All right, okay. So that must be, sorry, Asia and Edgar. I think the problem is on your end. Oh, Joe is right. Okay. So how many of you, from those of you who have Netflix accounts, actually cannot be without Netflix account? How many of you actually take the recommendations from Netflix seriously and you actually watch what they suggest to you based on that? Mary, you raised your hand. I don't know if to answer the question or to ask a question. Okay. So, sometimes, okay, that's fair. I have watched recommendation and they are normally right. For those of you who don't have Netflix account, good for you. You are saving a lot of time, hopefully doing something a little bit more productive. But no judgment here. I use Netflix sometimes at the end of the day to disconnect, but ideally it's not the best thing because I just move from one small screen to a little bigger screen, which is not ideal. But Netflix, why I'm asking this question is because the recommendation that Netflix has is one very important key in the success of the platform. So, you know, Netflix is not the only streaming platform. It has a lot of competitors, and it keeps getting more and more competition from smaller streaming platforms as well. So one of the key things that has made the success of Netflix is basically their recommendation engine that is based on AI. Okay, so what it takes into consideration when it recommends something for you is basically the ratings, the viewing, your search history, and the specific about the video, including, for example, who's the director and the genre of the series or the video or the movie you're watching. So based on that, it takes into consideration, of course, these are the information available that we have about how their algorithm works. But of course, this is one, probably some kind of combination for more than this a level of depth. But also it is a very well kept secret for the reason that it is the reason behind their success. So based on these things and a variety of other things as well, the system will produce personalized recommendations that are exclusive to each user. So I don't know if you have, at some point people were using sharing Netflix account. I think they tried to limit this as much as possible. But if you had that happen to you before, you know that when someone uses your account to watch something that's not within your list of topics or videos that you watch, you'd automatically get recommendation. It's like, okay, you messed my algorithm. Now I'm getting recommendation for things that I'm not interested in. So, so one of the things that makes it very important is that the recommendation system actually produces 80% of the content that users watch on Netflix. 80% of the stuff that people watch are based on recommendation from that AI-powered engine. So it's quite important. So I'm assuming 20% is, for example, sometimes people want to watch something different, and this is where they would just go outside of that recommendation. So according to Netflix as well, this improves customer engagement and retention. If any one of you has worked in a subscription-based model company, you know that, for example, a retention or churn rate is very important for these these companies because it's more beneficial for their bottom line to focus on keeping the customers that they have instead of getting new customer. And this is why they put so much effort and investment into retention. So Netflix claims that its suggestion mechanism, or in that case, the recommendation engine, has saved them over 1 billion in client retention cost. So this is where they weigh the benefits of retaining their customer as opposed to getting new customers as well. But that it doesn't stop here. So sometimes they can, because I don't know if you know, but Netflix also, they produce their own series. So this helps them in identifying what people like for them to be able to actually film and decide what kind of series they want to produce for these users. So this is also where it becomes important because they can create something they know a certain market will like it, or a certain group of their audience persona will like it as well. So this is just one example how it's important depending on which, I mean, I understand this is not a tool here, but again, this became a key component for the success of Netflix. And it could be, for example, integrated and developed into the idea or the use of AI tools is very important for everyone to use, not because Netflix is the major company, but also because it's becoming accessible to everyone. And we need to, jump on this now, or else we'll be left behind as well. And this is one of my main motivation for sometimes just trying any tool that I find just to stay, or at least to stay ahead of the curve. I'm not sure I am ahead, but still. Another thing I wanted to highlight before we move into some of these tools is that the choice of tools really depends on the stage of the funnel that you are focusing on. If any one of you has attended any of my sessions before, you know that I talk about these funnels a lot, regardless of it's AI or social media or marketing or communication or anything, because I think that one of the main thing or misconception is that we tend to sometimes businesses, not necessarily small businesses or entrepreneur, only everyone at some point try to take the easy way out with marketing and markets the same for all levels of the funnel. And it's actually, this is how money is wasted, or this is how advertising spent on Facebook and Instagram is wasted, because we tend to focus primarily on the activation revenue by promoting our products and doing advertising to what we call a cold audience, or an audience that do not know about our brand or product or services, and ask them to buy the product without really creating this awareness and acquisition stage, or and doing marketing and communication on that level, and just automatically jumping to the revenue. So it's an issue everywhere. I've seen this with small businesses, big businesses. And that's why I highlight this any chance I get, because yeah, I've heard this a lot. Yeah, Facebook advertising does not work. Instagram is not efficient. All of these things, and when we look at their content marketing, we see it's mostly based on just trying to focus on sales and not on awareness and acquisition. The same applies for the sales process. So depending on what you're selling exactly. Now, this is not valid for businesses selling small ticket item products like 20 or even $100. The sales funnel really qualify for people doing B2B or selling, I don't know, subscription-based models, or for example, getting people to move from one supplier to the other. So again, all of these tools, depending on what level of the funnel you're using. In case you go out and after this webinar, look at other tools that can help you, just keep in mind that you want to check which level of the funnel they are focused on, or you want to look for the level of the funnel that you have an issue with. So yeah, first of these tools, now we're going to move to the interesting part. I know a lot of you have experience or you know Google Trends. So Glimpse is an innovative AI tool, a little bit takes it a level above Google Trends, that allows you to get market data, as I said, a little bit more in depth than Google Trends. So it gives you real-time insights, trend alerts, and you can really create an alert for the trends that you're actually picking up on, and deeper analytic view into search volume. So it has access to TikTok, it has access to Instagram, and we'll see a little bit. Sorry, this is not showing. And there's a video here. Let's see if this shows. I'm gonna try to open it. Actually, it's not video. Actually, that's worse. I have a few videos here, but yeah. So you can go in depth depending on what market you're looking at, or if you're using it for SEO, market research, or e-commerce, you'll notice that it will also look for Amazon data, which is something that's not usually available if you're using Google Trends only. So it's kind of combines more than one platform. And it helps you really understand or pick up on trends before it happens. And if you are in the e-commerce business, it's important because you get to start selling products before they become trendy. But also you can use it if you're creating content for your e-commerce or SEO. You can tailor these offerings as well, and these blog posts or whatever it is based on trending topics. So even it's a topic adjacent to something that you're providing as a service or a product, you can jump on the wave of the trend and create content for it. And it's completely free, so you can use it also just as a market research to identify if you want to launch a new business or a new product. So this is the first tool. Again, this is mostly research, could be research at the awareness stage, or it could be really to be able to focus the products or the offerings that you have on the platform. Another very interesting one, especially if you are into the B2B sector, is People GPT. So, and the reason why it's not written People GPT here is just because, like ChatGPT, it's created by a company called Juicebox. So it's really technically it's a tool that allows you to search for talent, or if you want to recruit people for your business. Now, this is the main use, but recently I've seen some people use it to be able to do sales prospecting. So I'm going to show a video in a little in a minute. But so sales team or salespeople can use it to identify and reach out to potential leads based on their industry, their role, and where they are based. So this is very interesting because, for example, also if you're doing market research, you can identify key individual and stakeholder within that market to do surveys and interviews before you develop a product or a business as well. So let's see if it's working. If you don't hear, please let me know.
We are not hearing.
Okay. I appreciate someone telling me, so I will open the video separately. Hopefully this works, or else. Okay, let me start sharing again. Can you hear?
Nothing yet.
I think when you are sharing the screen, there's an option that you need to select before, so the sound of the videos can come. So perhaps you need to stop sharing and then share it again. Your mic is off.
Okay, I figured it out. I think share sound. Let me know if you can hear.
Hey, it's David from Juicebox.
Perfect.
Today, I'll be doing a 2-minute overview.
Thank you so much.
Let's say we're looking for software engineers in SF with 5+ years experience, skilled in Python and ML at a growth stage tech startup. I'll hit enter for the AI to put together a search for me. From here, we can review the search query or click apply filters if it looks good to us. Within a few seconds, we'll see an initial set of profiles and a description of why they matched our search. We can also click into the profiles to get additional details, see their different data sources, an overview of the companies they've worked at, and more. Instead, I'm actually going to head to our autopilot, where we can go even more in depth with our search and assessment in just a few seconds. Let's say we want someone who has GenAI experience, and I'll leave these other criteria as is, though we could adjust those as well. With that, I'll start the autopilot. We'll get our results shown to us in a spreadsheet, and it's going to start updating the ranking based on the criteria that each profile matches. There we go. We'll already see some profiles coming in, and we can start clicking into individual profiles to get additional details on why they match those criteria. For example, in this case, mentioning experience with LLM applications, hence matching our GenAI experience criteria, cloud platforms, and more. Confetti means the ranking is done, and so from here we can take a closer look at the different profiles or adjust the criteria if we need to. Within just a few clicks, I can also add these profiles into an email sequence. So if I click add to sequence, We'll automatically add them to our engineering sequence, pull in their personal email addresses, and I'll click preview to get started. From here, we'll see the different emails, including the personalized text included, and can see the follow-ups that are scheduled as well. Once it looks good, I can click confirm and add to initiate the outreach to all contacts. On top of that, we'll be able to see our talent insights, where we get an overview of the talent pool, including the geographic distribution, years of experience, top employers, skills, and more. Next, I'm going to head to our sequence tracking, where we can see our open rates, reply rates, click rates, and more, and go in more depth on every sequence, as well as our shortlist, which gives us an overview of all the profiles we've saved so far, their outreach status, any teammate activity, and more. With that, I'll head back over to our search, and I'll pause here for now to encourage you to try out the platform yourself via our free trial. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I should be the one encouraging you to try the platform. But again, as I mentioned, this is meant for sales and prospecting, but I find it's very useful if you want, for example, I know because I do marketing, so if you want to do research for audience personas. So sometimes we do audience personas based on certain ideas we have of potential markets or potential customers. But in that case, it would be very useful because you would actually be using an actual persona as inspiration for that instead of just relying on a few samples that you know. So this is very useful. And again, if you are in the B2B sector, very useful, or if you want to recruit people as well. That doesn't mean it's not useful for recruiting. Letter Drop is another platform for content marketing and SEO. It's very interesting because I'll show you some example of them using it for LinkedIn posts. So if you are, for example, the face of your company, but also it can be for the company on LinkedIn, the company's page, and not only for people or employees or salesperson working on LinkedIn to try and get B2B customers usually, but that also could be done for you to become a thought leader in the sector that you are working on. So it automates the creation and distribution and optimization for content across different channels. So it's primarily aimed at marketing people, but also SEO, and it helps you streamline the process, the content workflow. So it allows for integration with multiple channels, so that also saves time, and it helps you optimize or simplify the content calendar planning process. And well, it doesn't post for you, but it helps you a lot before that level. So it's definitely very useful if you're working across different channels, or if you have if you want to repurpose certain content across different channels. So as I said, it's good for marketers, SEO managers, content marketers, focused specifically on SEO. So when you look at these are posts taken, LinkedIn posts taken, written, using Letter Drop. So you see that it's very much, it feels like a human actually wrote them, and it's not. So this is very important when you're doing content marketing using AI tools, that you want to specify the tone of voice of your brand. If you have things that are already written, it's useful to add them in the request or in the prompt in that case, and mention that you want something within the same tone of voice. The more information you can provide all of these tools, the better it is at actually capturing your voice, your brand voice, and your personality. Even a brand has personality. So this is very interesting because I think you might have seen these on LinkedIn, or that approach in writing content, which could be, I'm not saying it's not, could be written by Letter Drop. So let's watch another video here. I think it should work. You should hear
Hi,
it.
I'm Keelan. I'm a content marketer at Letterdrop. I just wanted to give a quick overview of how Letterdrop helps me do more with
Sorry, can you hear it?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This, it helps me focus more on strategy and creativity as opposed to the more technical and sometimes tedious tasks that come with content marketing. So everything in Letterdrop starts with the ideas. So we help you collect all ideas in a single place, helping you defend your content strategy and prioritize the concepts that are actually going to drive revenue for your business. So you can collect these ideas from a variety of places. If we go to the idea generator, you can see that you can add ideas from Slack and email. You can recycle old top performing LinkedIn posts. You can analyze similar companies for ideas as well. And with the Letterdrop Gong integration, you can actually get content ideas directly from your sales calls. It's also really easy for me to work with a team on these ideas. So all I have to do is click on assign and then find a spot in our content calendar for this to go. So I've chosen Parthy to write this, and I can let Letterdrop take care of assigning deadlines and owners for every stage for me. And it's very, very customizable. So you can set up rules for the time lapse between stage deadlines according to your needs. So I've gone ahead and assigned a content piece to Parthy, and he's going to receive a Slack and email notification letting him know that he has a project assigned to him, along with a brief, due dates, and responsibilities. And I can track the status of all ongoing content in my content calendar, and not only for the blog, but for different social channels like Twitter and LinkedIn. And I can share this with my leadership team so that they always have a real-time, up-to-date view of what's going on in our content roadmap. Letterdrop is always up to date because the entire content workflow is in sync. So unlike with spreadsheets and tools like Asana, you never have to worry about having stale data or a content calendar that doesn't actually represent what's going on in your organization. So project cards show you the project status, basic keyword data, briefs, drafts, and who is responsible for each stage of that project. Now this is Letterdrop's CMS. I've just accessed this from one of the project cards, and it's incredibly marketer friendly. We have lots of tooling for collaboration like history, a chat feature, and comments baked in, and this also includes video comments from apps like Loom. It also makes it really easy to repurpose content. So if you paste any audio or video link, it can actually turn it into a transcript for you, and you're able to customize the structure of the transcript before it generates. Another feature that I find really helpful is that you can use AI to help write sections for you, and it actually has frameworks built in such as Passo, TAS, and Bluff. Letterdrop also helps me with SEO, and all I have to do is drop in my keyword and the tool takes care of the rest. It helps me understand search intent, the most appropriate format, and gives me the conversion likelihood. The table stakes section under what should you cover tells me what I should be writing about according to what's been covered by top pages on the SERP today. It goes well beyond keywords and actually tells me about topics themselves and which pages are talking about them. I can also auto-generate these intersections into my writing. What's really neat about Letterdrop is that unlike other tools that tell me to just copy keywords a certain amount of times, it helps me understand what's missing from the SERP to add a net new perspective to existing conversations, and this will help me rank better, especially as Google transforms with AI. It helps me with all the other usual SEO improvements, like a people also ask section and a keyword comparison of my content against other articles, and also headings from top pages. It lets me keep my content unique through the option of auto-adding stats to my content, and also make sure that I'm adhering to search rater guidelines. It also takes care of technical SEO for me. It can identify and even auto-fix SEO bugs in one click. And this also includes internal link building. And finally, it can run a plagiarism check on my content as well. And now onto publishing. Leterdrop lets me publish to any sort of destination, including multiple CMS collections, Webflow, WordPress, or any other custom CMS that I might have set up. It helps me distribute long-form content across channels to build my social presence. And using AI, I can generate first drafts of social posts based on tone-specific writing samples that AI has analyzed, which just really saves a lot of time. It also lets me automate engagement from my team in the form of likes and comments for employee advocacy, as you can see here. I can do this across multiple accounts and even ghostwrite for my team. Once I've published my content, I can also find internal links across my site that should be pointing to this piece and to other pieces, and Leterdrop can publish them for me just with a click of a button. I can also monitor pages to see which ones I need to go back to and give an SEO refresh. So that was a high-level overview of how Leterdrop helps me.
Yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of options in these tools. So it's not only about a few things that they can provide. So in that case, Leterdrop is kind of a social media management Hootsuite advanced version with AI specifically focused on improving SEO or actually looking through for example, what is available online to recommend keywords or titles or meta description for you to be able to improve your rankings on these. So it's not an AI tool, it's a tool that actually uses so many algorithms using AI. And if you work with SEO, it's very interesting because it simplifies a lot of the manual processes. Sometimes we end up doing it ourselves. Finally, the last tool, and possibly my favorite, is Jasper AI. So it is a content creation tool, and it's more specifically used by marketers. So it is the ChatGPT for marketers, if you want to call it. I understand that ChatGPT has a huge capacity when it comes to research, when it comes to summarizing things or coming up with creating things. But for marketing, this is more specialized in terms of it focuses on the need and the requirements of marketing persons, or in that case, maybe a social media person. I'll show you an example here. Not an example, but the difference, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that it's usually compared to Jasper and ChatGPT. So Jasper has templates. When I talk about templates, is content creator templates, blog posts, reports, that actually helps with engagement and conversion rate. So if you're using it to create email campaigns, that's better than using ChatGPT because it's based on marketing templates. It's easier to use for, it's easy to use for beginners. I think also ChatGPT is a little bit intuitive, but because it has templates, is not only based on your ability to be able to create prompts and write prompts. It can be, also the difference is that ChatGPT can be used for anything. Jasper is specifically for marketing. It has a plagiarism checker. It has monthly subscription costs, which I understand is different than ChatGPT. But if you have a big output or requirements for marketing, I think it's worth the investment. And both of them actually can generate incorrect output. So it's really, there's no difference here. So it's important to give the right information you want for all of these platforms, as I said, to be able to get the right output. This is the last video. I don't think it's very long, but as I said, all of these videos are meant to replace us trying the tools because I'll end up speaking and I want you to see how it works in a lot of different aspects. So if at the end of this session you actually find at least one tool that is interesting, I encourage you to definitely try it out directly after. Most of these, as I said, have a free trial period.
So if you're not familiar with Jasper.ai, this video is going to quickly show you how it works. If you're also new to Jasper and you'd like to follow along and test it out yourself, I will have my link down in the description below that will get you a free trial and many bonus words. So Jasper comes with a ton of templates that you can use, mix and match, and they're very flexible, especially some of them that really allow you to do almost anything you want. As you can see above, there's going to be plenty of different categories that you can utilize for various aspects of marketing, writing content, and so on and so forth. For example, as you can see, a lot of this stuff is going to be related to videos. They even have a mini VSL generator, which is great. Enter in a few sections on the left side of the screen, and it'll generate content for you. Plus, you can mix and match when it comes to doing things for your website. Paragraph generator is one of my favorites, but if you want to write a little bit more, you can go to stuff like frameworks for copywriting. For example, the AIDA and the PAS framework are great, along with the before and after. There's going to be sections for emails, such as doing email subject lines, cold emails, and so on and so forth. We have e-commerce stuff like Amazon, but you can also use it anywhere you want. Don't forget about blogs when it comes to conclusions, intros, outlines, topic ideas. The great thing is that you can connect a lot of these to pretty much create articles if you want to just use templates. Allow me to show you how one of the templates work. I really like the paragraph one. And this is just a random example, but you can use paragraph generators for absolutely anything. Off the top of my head, I'll give you some ideas. Whether you want to write more content for a specific body section of your article or blog post, if you want to use something when it comes to about me, if you want to talk about benefits, if you want to talk about answering a Quora answer, if you want to use it for a social media post, a video script, whatever it's going to be, you pretty much tell Jasper what you want to know or what you want it to talk about, and it'll do that. Here's how it works when it comes to the templates. This is going to be the left side right here. It says, what is your paragraph about? First thing on the top of my head, why is there so much hate on Twitter? I've noticed that it's like angry people everywhere for some odd reason. I don't know what it is. Keywords to include, I'm just going to put Twitter. Tone of voice, you can change this around to a lot of different ones. You can do like dramatic, you can do unhappy, you can do excited, you can do casual, you can do pretty much whatever you want. It's up to you. If you go over and hover right here, and you can go to learn more, which I'm going to do. And if we scroll down, there's some examples like funny, casual, excited, professional, witty, sarcastic, feminine, masculine, bold, dramatic, grumpy, secretive, and a few others if you go down there if you want to do that. But that's going to be good to go. And of course, if you want to change around the language options, we can do that. I have a few videos that I did. I think one was Italian, one was French, and I might have done one other, but we don't need to do that, of course. And this is how many inputs you want to put it. So if you do one, you're going to get one paragraph. If you do two, you'll get two paragraphs. And then we click on generate, wait a few seconds, and then read our content. So with the ubiquity of Twitter comes the ubiquity of hate. That is quite the sentence. Twitter has created an easy and anonymous platform for people to express their beliefs and opinions, some of which are unfortunately full of hatred towards certain groups or individuals. In addition, on Twitter it is easy to have a one-sided conversation. Many users Twitter in isolation without any need for mutual understanding or respect towards their opponents, quote unquote. The combination of making hateful language simplified and leaving out crucial pieces of information that support the target's perspective leads to an abundance of hate in Twitter conversations. Consequently, this creates a hostile environment on Twitter where issues are not respected. Consequently, this creates a hostile environment on Twitter where issues are not respectfully discussed and where discrimination is rampant. That was a very good one. And once again, I'm just going to keep this here. If you want to go through it, just kind of quickly glance through anonymous usernames, making it users and different feelings of another. It's unfortunate that Twitter seems to amplify the power of hate over the power of love, and so on and so forth. But pretty much any type of random thing you want done. This is just a paragraph generator, one of my favorites. The other favorite is going to be commands. I'll show you that very quickly as well. Let's go to Jasper. I'm going to go to newer, and we got commands. So this was the previous one that I did in my other video, or another video, where it says your command for Jasper. This is great for market research. This is great for writing anything and everything that you need. If you want to write an introduction, tell it. If you want to write a conclusion, tell it. If you want to write an outline, tell it. If you want to get some of the biggest fears and worries about your perfect audience, you can do research that way. It's pretty awesome if you ask me. But off the top of my head, let's do a command and talk about... All right, and in case you haven't seen my other videos, I love talking about golf. I'm in Florida. I haven't played a lot lately, but it's still a sport I used to play a ton. Read a few paragraphs about why golf is such a hard sport to master. If we had any background information, we could utilize that. Maybe it's for weekend warriors, maybe it's for a certain age demographic, but I'm going to keep it pretty broad here. Let's go with one input and generate. And not only did we get a few paragraphs, we got, was it 1, 2, 3? We got 4. This is a good amount of content. I'm just going to quickly go through. It's difficult, immense practice, dedication, knowledge. Plus, something you want to notice is the quality that Jasper creates is probably some of the best I have ever seen. You don't see too many like blips. You know, every now and then you might need like a period here or a comma there, and so on and so forth. But you got to have accuracy. There's small greens. The slightest misjudgment of a shot can lead to serious repercussions. Is short game control, controlling shots, is critically important for success, is mental agility and toughness. Like, this is fantastic content. I'll keep it there in case you want to read it, but that's overall very quickly how works in terms of their templates. They are very easy to use. Like I said, as long as you know what you're going for, like, you're going to be good to go. For example, if you want to write video scripts, you can combine a lot of these templates. I have videos about that. If you want to create articles using, you know, a few of the templates, I have videos about that. You can kind of mix and match where you're going to be doing like an intro, you have an outline, and then you can fill in the subheadlines in between and use the paragraph generator or commands to write a lot of like the meat and potatoes of an article, so to speak. But that about does it. I hope you got some value out of this, where in case you haven't seen Jasper too much, you know how it works at least with the templates. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll also have my link where you can test out Jasper for free and get some many bonus words where you can just go nuts with it and test it out yourself. That about does it. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in my next video.
Okay, I know this was a little bit long, but I think it covers a lot of the things that are interesting and makes this tool special. I'm going to stop here for a little bit, and then I'm going to launch the usual poll that we have. If you can take a few minutes to complete it, and then we'll start addressing the questions. I see that there are a lot of questions. So please complete the poll. It takes a few seconds. All right. I see some people are doing that. Let's go through some of your questions, or if anyone has a question that they want to address, they can just unmute.
Hello.
Hi. Yes.
Yeah, I have a small question because when we use AI generated tools to generate the contents, but I think some Google, when we boost from Google search engine, they reduce the automated content. And what is your opinion about that? Because some companies asking original content, they clearly mentioned. Don't send auto-generated content also. Like, what's your opinion about that?
Well, I mean, there is no real opinion here. Definitely one of the things that makes a difference is one of the things that makes a difference in these things is the input Shaha actually add to the. I mean, definitely if they tell you do not use automatically generated content, then please do not do that. But there's no absolute certainty that the information that is generated by any of these tools is correct. So this is our responsibility for us to be able to research and review this information. Second, you want to add the target audience. You want to add in your prompt, if we're talking, for example, about ChatGPT, the target audience, the tone of voice. If you can add, for example, a sample of communication that you have for this company or this target audience is always very useful. And then provide the topic that you want. So, for example, I don't use ChatGPT for content creation. What I do it is for content research. So instead of actually asking it to create the content. I use it to see what's out there and really identify the stuff that are missing. Again, that depends on the topic that you're covering. Or, for example, sometimes I've used it as well to try to brainstorm creative ideas, and it was really useful. I was trying to compare something quite complicated with something that's more relatable to people. So it was very useful that way as well. I hope I answered your question. I'm guessing yes. Okay. Yes, for the recording, it's going to be available. For letter drop, again, that is very specific to people who are doing B2B. That's why it might be understandable to be a little bit more expensive. But some of these tools have not programs, but they are accessible to people with small businesses. I'm not sure about letter drop specifically, but sometimes I do offers for small businesses. Apologies, 1 second. Any other? Any other questions? I'm trying to see if you have. Thank you, Elvira, for the recording. If not, I mean, let me ask you a question specifically. Is there, I mean, aside from letter drop and its you think is more, which one of these tools would you be more interested in trying for your business? Okay, so letter drop is the most expensive, but the most one that has apparently questions. All right, let me double check. I think they provide sorry, a free trial. Pricing. No, I can't see, but there is a demo. Okay, so that's something close. All right, if there is no other question, Jasper, thank you. Glimpse. I would be interested in the AI for chatbot on the commerce. That's, yeah, I mean, there are many tools for that. Oh, visual content generation. That's going to be another webinar. You know, guys, I mean, I'm not an AI expert, so I spent some time researching these tools and figuring these out before. So, yeah, next webinar would be content generation. But if I were to be very honest, I haven't found a tool that creates content that looks like real or is actually useful for marketing. So you can create a little bit of this creative stuff, but I haven't seen anything that so far replaces photography. So it's good that you're interested in AI, but just not rely on AI for everything as well. All right, I'm going to stop here. Thanks everyone for joining, and whoever helped me manage my technical issues, highly appreciated. It's always useful to have someone. Canva. Okay, Canva, I mean, Canva uses some AI elements if you used it before, so it can create some text, generate some images based on based on description, but still not very happy with the results so far. So let's keep hoping they keep improving. Thanks, Elvira. I miss you. Okay, I don't know how to do web scraping, so it has to be someone else. See you next time. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Very nice presentation. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.